In this final video of the program, we examine what you should do to manage your services finances effectively and efficiently. The do's and don'ts that will significantly increase the prospects of you reaching the year end within budget. If you manage a budget, you are accountable for it. Complete an official order for goods and services in order to raise a commitment and update your budget. Process invoices for payment as soon as they are received and make sure that they're matched to the original supporting official order. Otherwise, the budget will have been reduced by both the invoice and the order value, and the budget balance will look less than there actually is. When using credit or payment cards to purchase goods or services, collect the receipts and hand them into a person in your team who processes your transactions. Only process VAT invoices if the supplier states their VAT registration number, the council's name and address, and the VAT rate on the invoice. Send out sundry debtor invoices for goods and services as soon as they've been supplied. Better still, in advance, or even collect the money in advance. Keep service accountants informed of any likely and significant changes in service levels well in advance of the budget setting period, in order that there's enough time available for background work and reports. Make sure that you code expenditure and income correctly. Don't just pick any old code within a cost centre. Remember, doing so makes a fair and accurate comparison of one year to the next almost impossible. That goes for VAT coding too. If the council gets that wrong, it could end up with a very big fine from Her Majesty's Customs and Excise. Where possible, profile your budgets across the financial year, rather than spread them equally. This is far more helpful in allowing you to accurately monitor your budgets month by month. The alternative is having to make mental notes as to what to add on or take off. Check your budgets at least once a month, i.e. actual spending and income against budget spending and income. Where you are responsible for a large, high-risk budget with many non-staff payment transactions and a large team, a service that is historically not stable over the course of a typical year, this is essential and you'll probably need to keep an eye on budgets every week. If you identify a significant variance between actual and budgeted income and expenditure, find out why. Is it because your service used more or sold more than expected? Perhaps it's because prices were higher than expected. Maybe something unplanned happened. Maybe it's just because something's been miscoded. Find out and talk to your service accountant. It may just be a blip, or it may be a long-term issue that needs your urgent attention. Find out. When considering new projects, don't just think about the start-up and set-up costs. Will the council incur any ongoing revenue costs? Do these revenue costs, taken with the initial capital costs, mean that the project's business case no longer stacks up? If a project does not contribute towards the achievement of a service or council goal, ask why it's being considered or progressed. When building up a business case, it's far better to be conservative in your outlook. Anticipate higher costs and lower income than expected. Your project is then less likely to fail. Remember, your service is part of a larger organisation with many objectives and plans. If you don't keep a tight control over finances, then there's a possibility that the council will fail to deliver one or more of its objectives. Look for unusual patterns in spending or income. It may be completely innocent and explainable, but it may also be an indication of fraud or error. Make sure that anyone who controls a budget and reports to you understands what is required of them, what they can and should do, and, of course, cannot do. Generally, read the council's financial regulations, financial rules, or whatever they call them. Find the sections that apply to you, what you need to know. Aside from what we have worked through, make sure that you follow the rules about purchasing goods and services. When you need to go out to tender and when you don't. If in doubt, find out from someone before you go too far with your plans. If in any doubt about anything to do with finance, talk to your service accountant.